All right, hello, and welcome to today's program. I am Kyla Tilley, and this is the weekly Wednesday Warble. Do let me know if there's any issue. Hello! Let me know if there's any issue with the sound there, as usual. As all my streams start these days, I'm getting this error message that I don't trust. Anyway, we'll just have another quick retune. These strings are still settling in. Plus, we've had some severe temperature changes. All fine, good, excellent. So this is part 3. This is the final part in this little series we've been doing throughout the month of June of music from artists that have influenced me, influenced my songwriting in some ways. And there we go. And there's some ATVs outside. So this week it's all stuff sort of from my mid-20s onwards, and some of the stuff are from maybe artists that I knew about but really didn't get into, and some of them are artists that I found out about in those ages later. So I'm going to start with Billy Joel, because of course, you've heard of, I know who Billy Joel is, always have, but I never really got into him until actually kind of more recently, in more recent years. But I just think he's a fabulous songwriter, and you can't help but be influenced once you hear a bunch of someone's, once you sit down and listen to a lot of albums. So we are going to go to a band now that my husband introduced me to, and I'd never heard of them before. And I absolutely love them. And so the band is Gentle Giant, and they're, a 70s prog band. Actually, a lot of this stuff is still older stuff from the 70s. that Billy Joel song is from 1989, I think. That might be one of the most, that's probably one of the more contemporary pieces. But yeah, Gentle Giant were a 70s prog band, and I really, really got into them. Loved them for years now, and they're one of the bands, sometimes when I perform, someone comes up to me after and says, "Do you by any chance like Gentle Giant?" To which I say, well, yes, I do. But because they're like a big prog band, it was difficult to find a piece to sing, but I think we'll see what we can do with this one. Sorry to have been so much of a bore, but in my own funny ways I find I learn much more. I realize what you think from your eyes, but in your own funny ways I find I learn much more. My ways are strange, they'll never change, they'll stay strange ways. Sorry to have been so close from the start, but for all that I cared, we could be miles apart. I understand that you never would understand a way of life I never could. My ways are strange, they'll never change, they stay strange ways. Go your own way or wait for me. 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 So you see what happened to me since the time when I judged my life in nights and days. I realized that my life was lies. So you see what I mean with all my funny ways. Sorry to have been so much of a bore, but in my own funny ways I find I learn much more. Funny ways, funny ways, funny ways. And you'll be happy to know that I have spared you all my attempt at learning the recorder solo. But how do you know if Kyla will like a band? Do they have recorder solos? All right, this next one. So the next two pieces are sort of, it's not necessarily, thank you. The next one, these next two kind of, signify my years spent singing in La Chorale Harmonia, which is a choir that I sang in Montreal for many years. And I feel that the music that we sang in that choir, all-encompassing, also really colored a lot of the music that I have since written. But this one is by Canadian singer-songwriter James Gordon. and it's just one of my absolute favorite pieces that we did. And yeah, I don't think the choral rendition comes close to his solo singing and a guitar rendition. But it introduced me to him as a songwriter, and yeah, I would say it's been influential. Cold is the Arctic Sea, far your arms from me. Long will this winter be, frozen in Frobisher Bay, frozen in Frobisher Bay. One more whale, our captain cried, one more whale, then we'll beat the ice. But the winter star was in the sky, the seas were rough, the winds were high, and cold is the Arctic Sea, far your arms from me. Long will this winter be, frozen in Frobisher Bay, frozen in Frobisher Bay. Deep were the crashing waves that tore our whalers and mast away, and dark are these sunless days, waiting for the ice to break. And cold is the Arctic Sea, far your arms from me. Long will this winter be, frozen in Frobisher Bay, frozen in Frobisher Bay. Strange is a whaler's fate, to be safe from the raging waves, only to waste away, frozen in this lonely grave. And cold is the Arctic Sea, far your arms from me. Long will this winter be, frozen in Frobisher Bay, frozen in Frobisher Bay. Cold is the Arctic Sea, far your arms from me. Long will this winter be, frozen in Frobisher Bay, frozen in Frobisher Bay. There, Frobisher Bay by James Gordon. And I'm going to do another one that I learned from the choir, and this one is sort of like the James Gordon song. I found out about James Gordon and went and listened to a lot more of his music. This one is sort of a stand-in for all the beautiful music and interesting melodies that I heard in choir, and that influenced what I wrote afterwards. And a lot of I decided to go with this one, which I have been covering lately. Of course, a lot of the pieces are choral pieces. So of course I've learned an alto 1 line or a soprano 2 line, and I don't actually know the melodies, and some of them are large orchestral works, and they don't quite work as a solo person with a guitar, but a lot of them come from the folk tradition as well. And I sang a solo for this song in one of her choirs, so I thought that it would be appropriate to be the stand-in for all the absolutely beautiful melodies that I heard while singing in the choir that has influenced all the melodies that I've written ever since. is burning blue. Wild walk the wall, shadows, night winds go riding by the lucky meadows. On to the ring of day flows Myra's stream, singing Kadilgulali, la-la-dee, sleep the stars away. Side wander the lost lammies, here, there, and everywhere their troubled mammies. Find them and fold them deep, fold them to sleep, singing Kadilgulali, la-la-dee, sleep the moon away. We're gonna stay in Quebec. So I lived in Montreal for about 13 years. I moved there when I was 27, and I went to some. Hey Nancy, welcome in. Glad you're able to pop in for a few. Always a pleasure to see you. We're doing songs that influenced me. Are songs from artists that I've found influential, sort of from the age of 25 onwards. So this one, so I moved to Montreal when I was 27, and I took some Francenization courses. So it's like French courses, but they teach you like how to rent an apartment. Like it's very like useful everyday French kind of thing. Yeah, Frobisher Bay is such a good song, and James Gordon is such a good songwriter, and I'd never heard of him until encountering him in choir, but in my class they introduced us. So this is a French singer-songwriter from France, Maxime Laforestier, who again, he's still living, he's still performing, but. The bulk of his work came out in the 70s. But we sort of learned one of his, we looked at one of his songs in our class to sort of a cultural, introduce to culture kind of thing. Anyway, I absolutely love him. I'd never heard of him before. The second song from the choir, Kenneth Leslie? One second. Who I don't know anything about. I will tell you though. I have it in my file, but I just closed my file. Yeah, Kenneth Leslie. And now I've lost you guys. There you are. You're out of data. No. Well, Nancy, it was lovely to see you. It was lovely to see you for a brief instant. I have a feeling you didn't actually get any music because I've been talking. But this is a song by Maxime Laforestier, and they played another song in the class that I'm also I am also planning for a future 10-song theme. But I listen to him a lot, basically. And so this is a song of his from his album San Francisco. The song is called San Francisco, and it's very, it's just about like your weird hippie friends in San Francisco, and there's talk about this, this house basically that they all hung out at, in this kind of mystical, nostalgic idea that we now have of San Francisco, or your time back in the day. That's really sort of what the lyrics are about. But it really reminds me of a house that I used to hang out in St. John's, and there was like, there's a line, we don't knock on the door because the people that live here have thrown the key away. And I absolutely had a bunch of friends that lived in a house that there was no key. Nobody had a key. It was just people would just come and go at will. And there were a bunch of long-haired hippies. And it talks about that in this song. So I thought these were really beautiful lyrics, and it's a really beautiful song because dude was a really beautiful songwriter. So I'm gonna sing this song for you now. I believe that means that Nancy can't stay, indeed. C'est une maison bleue, adossée à la colline, on y vient payer, on ne frappe pas ceux qui vivent là, on jette la clé. On se retrouve ensemble, après des années de la route, et on vient s'asseoir autour de repas. Tout le monde est là à 5 heures du soir. Quand San Francisco s'embrume, quand San Francisco s'allume, San Francisco, où êtes-vous, Lisa et Luc, Sylvia, attendez-moi. Nageons dans le brouillard, enlacés roulant dans l'herbe, on écoutera Tom à la guitare, Phil à la canne, jusqu'à la nuit noire, où notre arrivera. Pour nous dire des nouvelles d'un qui reviendra dans une heure ou deux, puisqu'ils est heureux, on s'endormira. Quand San Francisco se lève, quand San Francisco se lève, San Francisco, où êtes-vous, Lisa et Luc, Sylvia, attendez-moi. Maison bleue, accrochée à ma mémoire, on y vient à pied, on ne frappe pas ceux qui vivent là, on jette la clé. Peuplée de cheveux longs, de grands lits et de musique, peuplée de lumière et peuplée de fous, elle c'est la dernière à rester debout. Si San Francisco s'effondre, si San Francisco s'effondre, San Francisco, où êtes-vous, Lisa et Luc, Sylvia, attendez-moi. There. This is Maxime Le Forestier is the name of the composer, and the San Francisco album Passer la Route, I think, is another album of his that I really, really love. But very, very, very just fabulous. Every song is amazing. He's someone I listen to a lot. So the next piece is a much more recent, and this is not any particular artist actually, but more a genre, and that's of sort of like jazz standards. And it was just in the last couple of years that's come about through streaming, that people have started requesting various jazz standards, and I've started doing them. And of course, once you start performing and doing those, I've noticed like some more of the songs I've written recently have a lot of seventh chords, and those sorts of like, oh, I can just repeat this verse. That's okay. That's definitely starting to seep into the songwriting. So we're gonna do this one, which is a more recent one that I've been learning. Holding hands at midnight, neath a starry sky. Oh, it's nice work if you can get it, and you can get it if you try. Strolling with the one girl, sighing sigh after sigh. Oh, nice work if you can get it, and you can get it if you try. Just imagine someone waiting at the cottage door, where two hearts become one, who could ask for anything more. Loving one who loves you, and then taking that vow. Oh, nice work if you can get it. Holding hands at midnight, neath a starry sky. Nice work if you can get it, and you can get it if you try. Just imagine someone waiting at the cottage door, where two hearts become one, who could ask for anything more. Loving one who loves you, and then taking that vow. Oh, nice work if you can get it, and if you get it, won't you tell me how? There we go. Nice work if you can get it. All right, so the next two are both, no, I think I still, so the next one is Judy Collins. So we're going to sing a piece by Judy Collins. And I became aware of Judy Collins, so last week I sang for you a piece by the Incredible String Band. And on one of the Incredible String Band albums, Judy Collins sings backup vocals, which led me to discovering Judy Collins. And I think, I didn't really get into her until a little bit later in my 20s. Like there was the Incredible String Band first, and I went through their oof, and then I found Judy Collins. And so this is one of hers that I've been doing lately. And it's apparently the first song she ever wrote. Since you asked, is all my time together. Take the rugged sunny days, the warm and rocky weather. Take the roads that I have walked along, looking for tomorrow's time. Peace of mind. a million stones lying by the water. You have climbed the hills with me to the mountain shelter, taking off the days one by one, settling to breathe in the sun. Take the lilies and the lace from the days of childhood, all the lily, all the willow winding path leading up and outward. This is what I give, this is what I ask you for, nothing more. There, go. And then, so I put these two together because they knew each other, they sang together. I think there's plenty of video out on the internet of them singing together. So of course I was aware of Pete Seeger, and I've been singing Pete Seeger songs all my life. I think there's probably as a kid you grow up, you sing Pete Seeger songs, but you know nothing of Pete Seeger. And then as an adult, I sort of, it was like, or maybe as a teenager, it was like, oh yeah, Pete Seeger's some big folk guy. And then more towards my late 20s, early 30s, I think I really started being like, oh yeah, Pete Seeger. Pete Seeger knew a thing or two about writing a folk song, so I got quite into Pete Seeger. Yeah, it was sort of a little bit later. Like I'd listened to a lot of other folk music and then went down the Pete Seeger rabbit hole, the very, 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 very deep well that is Pete Seeger. But this is one of his most beautiful songs. The spider dropping down from twig unfolds a plan of her devising, a thin premeditated rig to use in rising, and all that journey down through space in cold descent and loyal-hearted, she spins a ladder to the place from where she started. Thus I gone forth as spiders do, in spider's web of truth discerning, attach one silken thread to you for my returning. Isn't that a pretty little song? I think that's the prettiest little song. So that is Spiderweb by Pete Seeger. So we've got two left. This one I will play on my 12 string. So I'm not really sure how to pronounce the name of this band. I've even seen them live. Yes, yes. Yes, Kyla, it's a pretty little song. Get on with it. This is, so at some point, I think my husband must have found this band. Yes, my husband found this band. So this is a heavy metal band. And their guitar player is in a lot of other bands. His name is John Cobbett, and every single band that he is in is awesome. So if you look at a band's lineup and you see that John Cobbett is playing guitar, just go out and buy their discography. And I've seen two of his bands live. But anyway, this is Slough. We always said Slough. I think they say Slough. The Lord Weird Slough was their initial name. Traditional heavy metal. They're from San Francisco. Like very sing-alongable, very rockin', very amazing and riffy. And because they're so sing-alongable, I was like, surely I can work this. And the piece that's the most like acoustic guitar and sing-alongable, that was the one I tried first. It actually didn't work very well. It was like, this is great to sing along with, but it actually kind of works really well in the context of the album, and is a little bit silly taken out of context. But anyway, I decided to do this one. Lost in the waves, all time while pouring more volumes I lay, like curses that echo the sea without rhyme. Fortunes are drowned, swallowed up by the sea, shackled in time. Never know, never see. The gallons of emptiness found in the waves, a circling vortex of time. 1,000 and more men are drowned in their graves. Echoes of pride swallowed up by the sea, shackled in time. Never lost, never seen. Fortunes are drowned, swallowed up by the sea. Echoes of pride, now revealed, never seen. This body is crooked and old, but lightless I'll live and I'll die. By the sea, I'm wizened and tired and cold. The fire still burns in my mind. Shackled in time, now I'm lost with the sea. Slowfag, one or the other. Incredible band. Incredible fun. I saw them, actually I saw them in Montreal and then followed them to Toronto to see them again, because they don't come through Canada very often, and I should have also followed them to Ottawa. They did 3 shows, but there we go. That's Seawolf. So that brings us to our last song, and it is one that we do, and it's from a band called Cake, and I really like Cake. And I know there was a band that I loved in my early 20s that covered one of their songs, but I didn't really go and listen to Cake until a little bit after, sort of like mid to late 20s, when I sort of was like, oh, there's like this band. This band is with some really, really fabulous lyrics, and are quite silly. And I saw them live. In, I want to say like 2008 maybe, or 2009. I saw them live in Calgary, Alberta. We went out to visit friends, and Cake were playing. Trying to think of like just something about their subject matter. Nobody else writes songs about their subject matter, and so you might see how that would influence me. I stand on painted tape. It tells me where I'm going and where to throw my cape. I call my co-star's brother, I call my co-star's knave. I play both good and evil parts, I sing to Verdi's grave. I am an opera singer, I sing in foreign lands. I've sung for kings in Europe and emperors in Japan. And every single morning by 10 a.m. I am dressed. My rehearsals last for hours and hours. With diligence I have been blessed. Some people they call me monster, some people they call me saint. My talent feeds my darker side, yet no one will complain. I am an opera singer, I sing in foreign lands. I've sung for kings in Europe and emperors in Japan. And after each performance, people stand around and wait, just to tell me that they love my voice, just to tell me that I'm great. I am an opera singer, I will sing when you're all dead. I sing the mountains crumbling apart, I sing what can't be said. I am an opera singer, I sing in foreign lands. Most people seem to know my name, or at least know who I am. I am an opera singer, I sing in foreign lands. I've sung for kings in Europe and emperors in Japan. I am an opera singer. There we go. There we go. A little bit of cake. Who may or may not have been a deep influence on my joy of hamming it up. So there we have it. There we have it, folks. I did get through every song. I didn't have something else hidden. That is our 10 songs for today. Thank you so much for joining me this week. Once again, I had a lot of fun putting those songs together. Next week we will be doing. We've done the last we had. Eventually we'll get back to, I am a singer-songwriter, and eventually we'll get back to performing songs that I wrote. But next week, we've got Canada Day coming up. And so next week, I'm going to do Canadiana. So it's obvious now you've enjoyed this set of 3 weekly Wednesday warbles. That's really good. That makes me very happy. There was some fun stuff in there, and I had a lot of fun. I learned quite a few new songs for it, so I was really, really happy with them, and they're all going to be in my regular rotation. But yeah, next week is Canadiana, and I'm going to do, I'm going to do my best to make sure it's different from, I'm pretty sure I did a Canadiana one last year too, or just CanCon, Canadian content, all Canadian songwriters. So obviously I'll probably do one of mine, because I could do all mine because I'm Canadian content. But no, we're gonna do 10 songs from various Canadians. Thank you so much again for joining me this week, and we'll see you next week at the same time, at the same channel, for the next weekly Wednesday Warble. So take care, everybody.